My friend, did you know that your tongue is stealing the fuel your hands need to build? Every time you announce your next move, you trick your brain into thinking the job is already done. You've felt it, haven't you? That sudden loss of motivation the moment someone claps for a plan you haven't even started. This exhaustion comes from living a life of descriptions instead of construction, carrying the heavy expectations of others before you've even laid the first stone. But there is a quieter, more lethal way to exist. I will show you the ancient secret of silent power, a method to turn hidden intentions into an unstoppable force. However, before you can master this force, you must see the invisible burden that is currently paralyzing your potential. There is a specific psychological trap that most people fall into at a cafe or on social media, and if you don't recognize it in the next few minutes, your greatest dreams will continue to turn into cold, gray ash before they ever begin. Look at Victor, right in the heart of the city's relentless buzz. His phone is a constant drumbeat of pings and glowing red notification bubbles. He is holding court at a cafe, basking in the heat of attention that feels like a victory already won. Every "that sounds amazing" acts like a potent hit of dopamine. But here is the danger. He hasn't laid a single brick, yet his mind is already touring the finished castle. He is standing tall on the shifting sands of other people's expectations. When the sun dips low and the cafe clears out, reality finally comes knocking. Victor returns to his office to find a blank screen that feels like a silent accusation. The fire that felt so fierce an hour ago has turned into cold, gray ash. This is because he committed a cardinal sin. He spent his paycheck before showing up for work. He is now a prisoner of his own public image, forced to maintain a mask of progress while a hollow ache grows in his chest. He is drowning in the shallow end of his own ego, and if he doesn't find a way to stop this leak, he will remain paralyzed forever. But there is a specific reason why Victor, and perhaps you, cannot simply stop talking. It's tied to a deeper addiction to the weight of these stones, a secret Master Kenzo is about to reveal that changes how you view your own identity. Victor climbed the winding mountain path, his mind racing with prepared speeches and the weight of his grand vision. He arrived at the temple, breathless, spilling his past triumphs and revolutionary plans, desperate for a nod of approval from Master Kenzo. But the master sat perfectly still. The old man's silence was a heavy physical force that made Victor's self-important words feel like pebbles tossed into a dark, bottomless well. Then came the instruction that felt like a blade. For 7 days, Kenzo whispered, "You shall not utter the words, 'I will,' or 'I am.'" Suddenly, Victor was stripped of his only tool for social survival, and the agony was immediate. Without the ability to pitch himself, he felt he was becoming invisible, realizing that his entire personality had become a mere performance for an audience. By forcing the valve shut, Kenzo was creating an internal pressure, a sacred heat that most people leak through their lips before the engine ever turns. Victor stopped looking for a mirror in others and finally started seeing the world as it truly is. He learned that silence isn't an absence, but a dense, living force. But just as Victor began to find peace, Kenzo presented a test so frustratingly simple that it threatened to break his newly built fortress in a matter of seconds. Master Kenzo placed a single, unremarkable seed in the center of Victor's palm. "This is your next move," the master whispered. "It holds a forest inside, but for now, it is the most fragile thing you own." The challenge seemed simple. Walk through the crowded, chaotic marketplace without letting a single soul see it. But as Victor stepped into the noise, the old habit flared up like a fever. People leaned in, prying and asking, "What are you guarding so fiercely?" He felt a physical itch in his throat, a desperate need to explain his greatness, just to see their faces light up. He realized that the moment you show your move too early, you are essentially digging up a planted seed to check the roots, and in doing so, you kill its potential to rise. The wind of other people's opinions tore through the stalls, nearly knocking him off balance, ready to blow his focus into the dust. Victor had to keep his fingers locked like a steel vault, becoming the protective soil for his own dream. This is the secret of invisible progress. True power thrives in the shadows, far from the spotlight that withers what is still soft and new. He returned with a hand cramped and aching, but for the first time, his reality was held in his bones, not in his stories. However, Victor was about to face a final paradox. The hardest part isn't just holding on to your power, it's knowing the exact moment when you must let it go to the earth. Victor knelt before the dark, damp earth, no longer a beggar for attention, but a guardian of potential. He finally understood the master's mantra. A master plays the game. A fool explains the moves. Every time you seek approval for a plan, you are asking for permission to be great, handing your power to a stranger who hasn't walked your path. Victor pressed the seed into the soil, tucking it away from the dry heat of superficial praise that bakes a soul before it can grow. He realized that while the world rewards the noise, nature only rewards the unseen results. Now, it is your turn to experience this invisible progress. I want you to practice the mental fog ritual. Pick your most important goal, the one that keeps you up at night, and wrap it in total, sacred silence for 30 days. Do not tell your partner, your friends, or your followers. Build that internal pressure, that sacred heat, and use it as fire for your work. Let the world wonder why your eyes have changed, but never give them an answer until the results are so loud that words become unnecessary. But be warned, most people fail this ritual because they don't know how to handle the heavy emotional stones that resurface once the noise stops. Stones that I will show you how to drop forever in just a moment. As Victor walked back down the mountain, he moved with the grace of a silent man. He didn't look at his phone or rehearse stories for his friends, because he knew that beneath the soil, something massive was beginning to stir. But what about you, my friend? Is your dream worth more than a few seconds of cheap applause? You've seen how Victor almost lost his future to his own tongue, and now the choice is yours. Will you continue to leak your power, or will you build a fortress of mystery around your destiny? Many of the stories you hear here aren't just stories. They reflect the invisible weight you may be carrying every day, the announcement trap, and the pressure of a public image that keeps you small. If you're tired of holding pain, responsibility, and guilt that were never yours, I created a guide for this exact transition called The Weight of Stones That Are Not Yours. It is designed for those who want to let go, set boundaries, and live with the lightness Victor found in the stillness. But to truly master this, you need to handle the two biggest obstacles: the fear of being forgotten when you go silent, and the guilt of saying no to the world's demands. That is why when you get the book today, you will also receive Bonus 1, Learning to Let Go of the Stones That Are Not Yours, a step-by-step roadmap to identify which burdens are yours and which belong to others. Bonus 2, When Saying No is an Act of Self-Love, the ultimate guide to protecting your seed without feeling guilty. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Do not let the world wonder about your potential forever. Let them see the results instead.